When NATO commanders briefed their pilots on the threat matrix for modern air combat, one aircraft has consistently drawn more attention, more concern, and more debate than almost any other: Russia's SU-57 Felon. Not because it operates in overwhelming numbers, it doesn't. Not because it's been proven in endless combat engagements, it hasn't. But because this machine represents something far more unsettling: a fundamentally different philosophy of warfare, one that challenges every assumption Western air forces have built their supremacy upon. The SU-57 didn't arrive with fanfare or global marketing campaigns like its American counterparts. It emerged quietly from Russia's design bureaus as a direct answer to a question that has haunted Moscow since the fall of the Soviet Union. How do you match the technological might of the West when you don't have unlimited budgets, when your industrial base is fractured, when sanctions choke your supply chains? The answer Russia found wasn't to copy, it was to reinvent. This isn't just another fighter jet. The SU-57 Felon is a weapon built for survival in the most hostile environments imaginable, designed to operate when networks fail, when support vanishes, when the odds turn catastrophically against you. It's a machine that can hunt in electromagnetic silence, strike with precision from ranges that deny retaliation, and maneuver through the sky with a grace that seems to defy the laws of physics. And that's precisely why NATO takes it seriously. A different kind of stealth. Walk around in F-22 Raptor or F-35 Lightning II, and you'll see surfaces so smooth they appear almost liquid, edges aligned with mathematical precision, every rivet and seam carefully hidden beneath radar-absorbent coatings. The American approach to stealth is absolute. Minimize your radar signature to near invisibility. Become a ghost in the electromagnetic spectrum. The SU-57 took a different path. Russia's engineers understood that true invisibility was impossible, especially against the massive early warning radars that sweep across frontiers and contested airspace. Instead of chasing an unattainable ideal, they built something far more cunning, a fighter that combines reduced observability with aggressive electronic warfare capabilities. The result is an aircraft that doesn't just hide, it deceives. The SU-57 stealth design focuses primarily on frontal aspect radar cross-section reduction, the direction from which threats are most likely to appear during air-to-air engagements. Its blended wing-body configuration, angled surfaces, and internal weapons bays reduce its signature dramatically when approaching head-on. But more importantly, the aircraft carries sophisticated electronic warfare systems that can jam enemy radars, spoof tracking systems, and flood the electromagnetic spectrum with false targets. It's psychological warfare at the speed of light. An enemy radar operator sees multiple contacts, watches returns flicker and fade, second-guesses every detection. And while they're trying to determine which ghost is real, the SU-57 closes the distance, its pilot selecting targets with cold precision. This approach reflects a deeper Russian understanding. In modern warfare, confusion can be as valuable as invisibility. Why hide completely when you can make your enemy doubt everything they see? The heart of any fifth-generation fighter isn't its weapons or even its stealth, it's sensors. The ability to detect, track, and engage threats before they know you're there determines who lives and who dies in modern aerial combat. The SU-57 sensor suite is built around the N036 Bielka radar system, and it's unlike anything Western designers have attempted. Rather than relying solely on a single nose-mounted array, the Bielka uses multiple radar panels distributed across the aircraft. The main X-band antenna in the nose contains over 1,500 active modules and can detect conventional airborne targets at ranges exceeding 400 kilometers. Against stealth aircraft, that range drops to roughly 150 kilometers. But that's still enough to spot an F-35 before it can effectively engage. But here's where it gets interesting. The SU-57 also mounts L-band radar arrays along the wing leading edges. These lower-frequency radars sacrifice resolution but gain the ability to detect stealth aircraft that are optimized to evade higher-frequency X-band systems. It's a brute force counter to Western stealth. If you can't see through the invisibility cloak at one frequency, try another. And the SU-57 doesn't stop there. Its fusion of all these sensors, multiple radar bands, infrared tracking, electronic warfare systems, and navigation data feeds into an integrated avionics suite that presents pilots with a comprehensive picture of the battle space. The aircraft doesn't just detect threats, it understands them, prioritizes them, and suggests optimal responses in real time.
Dancing with death. Thrust vectoring, the ability to redirect engine exhaust to control the aircraft's attitude, has been part of Russian fighter design philosophy for decades. But the Su-57 takes this concept to extremes that Western pilots find both impressive and unnerving. The aircraft's Saturn AL-41F1 engines feature nozzles that can vector thrust in multiple directions. Unlike the F-22's purely pitch-axis thrust vectoring, the Su-57 system is canted outward, allowing differential vectoring between the left and right engines. This gives the aircraft three-dimensional control authority: pitch, yaw, and roll, all through engine power alone. In practical terms, this means the Su-57 can execute maneuvers that seem to violate basic aerodynamics. It can maintain controlled flight at angles of attack that would stall conventional fighters, rotate on its axis at near zero forward speed, and transition from one flight regime to another with a fluidity that's genuinely unsettling to watch. During air shows, Su-57 test pilots have demonstrated the so-called Pugachev's Cobra and other post-stall maneuvers with casual ease. The aircraft pitches up to 90 degrees, seemingly standing on its tail in midair, then smoothly transitions back to level flight. It's not just showboating. These maneuvers demonstrate the aircraft's departure-resistant flight control system and the pilot's ability to maintain complete authority even in regimes where most fighters would tumble out of control. But does extreme maneuverability matter in modern combat? The debate rages within military aviation circles. Critics point out that dogfighting rarely happens anymore, that beyond visual range missiles decide most engagements long before aircraft ever merge. They argue that the F-22's superior acceleration and sustained turn rate matter more than dramatic post-stall maneuvers. Russian doctrine disagrees. Their philosophy assumes that sophisticated electronic warfare will degrade long-range kill chains, forcing some engagements into visual range. When that happens, when two aircraft find themselves tangled in a furball with missiles exhausted and guns blazing, the more maneuverable fighter holds a decisive advantage. The Su-57 can point its nose and its cannon at an adversary faster than virtually any Western fighter can respond. Whether this philosophy proves correct remains to be seen, but NATO planners can't afford to dismiss it.
The speed advantage. Supercruise, sustained supersonic flight without using fuel-gulping afterburners, was one of the defining capabilities of fifth-generation fighters when the F-22 demonstrated it in the late 1990s. The ability to cruise at supersonic speeds dramatically expands an aircraft's operational radius, reduces mission time, and allows fighters to control engagement ranges more effectively. The Su-57's first-generation AL-41F1 engines provide limited supercruise capability, reportedly allowing the aircraft to maintain speeds around Mach 1.2 to 1.3 in dry thrust. That's respectable, but falls short of the F-22's demonstrated Mach 1.8 supercruise performance with combat load. Russia recognized this shortcoming and responded with the Izdeliye-30 engine, currently in testing and expected to power future Su-57 variants. This next-generation power plant promises 176 kilonewtons of thrust per engine, a significant increase over the current engines, along with improved fuel efficiency and reduced thermal signature. More importantly, it's designed to enable genuine high-speed supercruise, potentially matching or exceeding Western benchmarks. The strategic implications are profound. An Su-57 equipped with Izdeliye-30 engines could patrol vast areas of airspace, respond rapidly to threats, and engage or disengage at will. Combined with the aircraft's internal weapons capacity, this makes it a flexible platform, capable of switching roles mid-mission: interceptor, strike fighter, reconnaissance asset, electronic warfare platform. The large internal weapons bays deserve special attention. Unlike the F-22, which was designed primarily for air superiority, the SU-57 was conceived from the start as a true multi-role platform. Its main ventral weapons bays can accommodate a diverse loadout: R-77M medium-range air-to-air missiles with active electronically scanned array seekers, R-74M2 short-range infrared homing missiles for close combat, precision-guided bombs like the KAB-250 and KAB-500, air-to-ground missiles such as the KH-38M, and even anti-ship weapons like the KH-35U. Recent reports suggest Russia is developing a miniaturized hypersonic missile small enough to fit in the Su-57's weapons bays, potentially giving the aircraft a strike capability that could overwhelm even advanced air defenses. A hypersonic weapon traveling at Mach 6 or above would leave defenders with seconds to react, far too little time for effective countermeasures. When stealth is unnecessary, the Su-57 can mount additional weapons on 6 external hardpoints, trading radar signature for increased payload. This flexibility allows mission planners to configure the aircraft for specific threats: full stealth for penetrating contested airspace, or maximum firepower for permissive environments.
So, does the Su-57 scare NATO? Yes, but with caveats. It scares NATO because it represents capabilities that can't be ignored: sophisticated sensors, extreme maneuverability, potential for manned-unmanned teaming, and a design philosophy optimized for exactly the kind of grinding, attritional warfare that NATO hopes to avoid. Even in small numbers, Su-57s complicate NATO air operations and force planners to account for threats that earlier-generation Russian fighters simply didn't pose. But it doesn't fundamentally challenge Western air superiority. NATO's overwhelming numerical advantage in fifth-generation fighters, more advanced pilot training, superior stealth characteristics, and robust support infrastructure maintain a decisive edge. In any large-scale conflict, Western air forces would likely establish and maintain air superiority, despite the presence of Su-57s. The real threat isn't the Su-57 by itself. It's the Su-57 as part of Russia's integrated air defense system, working alongside long-range surface-to-air missiles, electronic warfare assets, and potentially loyal wingman drones. That system of systems approach, operating on Russia's doorstep, with interior lines of communication and without the logistical challenges NATO would face, poses genuine challenges. The Su-57 is a reminder that technological superiority isn't absolute, that clever engineering can partially offset resource advantages, and that underestimating adversaries leads to unpleasant surprises. It's a capable fighter built by engineers who understood they couldn't match Western funding, so they built differently instead. And that deserves respect, even from those who recognize its limitations. If you found this analysis valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to NeuroIntelE for more deep dives into military technology, modern warfare, and the systems that could define the conflicts of tomorrow. We don't just report the headlines, we analyze what they mean and why they matter. Join us.